Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Tanya Love Show, and I'm Tanya Love, and I am so excited to have an opportunity to connect with you all again today. I hope everybody's week has been going fabulous since our last connection, and I would love to offer you the space to write in today and to call in and just share what you noticed if you were actually participating with daily meditation, and if you noticed any shifts or even the slightest thing, like maybe you just felt a little more at ease because you remembered to breathe and connect. So I open up that space for you. The show is for you, so please make use of it and call in and write in. And today I'm going to actually offer a little special for anybody who calls in. So if anybody wants a special on a remote clearing or a remote angel reading or soul coaching session, give us a call, and I would love to hear from you. Hear your input, your questions, your comments, whatever. Just as long as you're being nice. So feel free to call in. Today, I was feeling a couple of feelings last week of what would I be talking about today. And yesterday it just came in really loud and clear that I was to speak about aligned leadership and what that means and how important and impactful that is for our planet and for all the different structures that are really in a position of being shifted and realigned in a more harmonious and beneficial way that serves all, not just a few. And so that's our topic today, is aligned leadership. And so if you feel a passion and you have something to say about that, I invite you to call in. Some of you listening, may be working in education systems where you have stuff to say about that. Or maybe you're a parent and you watched the things going on that you have to deal with your children, or maybe working with the court system. Maybe you work in healthcare, or you work for the government, or different places. I encourage you to write in or call in with your comments and your feedback. To get started on that, I feel the essence, we've talked about alignment a lot on this show, and really the essence of alignment is when we are connected with our source, whatever you want to call that. So for me, I just refer to this energy, the infinite energy of abundance and opportunity, intelligence, consciousness as source, the source where all energy flows. I recently was reading a book where Einstein was talking about the source field and how that is the only thing that is real. And that's really what I relate to as well, is the source field is this field of consciousness where all energy streams from. And then as we pull that into our consciousness, we create with it. And each of us that are tuning in today, we're all creators. Whether we're aware of that or not is another topic, but we all are creating with our thoughts every day. We're creating with the thoughts we're having right now, and then the actions we will take as a consequence of those thoughts will start to create and manifest a physical experience. And so if we get into the topic of leadership, why would it be important to have an aligned leader? That's the question for you, and I invite you to write in an answer, and we'll kind of play with that. So any of you that are feeling that, just write in, what do you think is important about your leader being aligned? Why do you feel it would be important for you as a leader to actually be in alignment? And why would there be a problem if you have a leader who's out of alignment, who's not really living with alignment and with a consciousness that is aware of unity intact? So that's the thing I put out for you, that little question for you to tune into. Basically, we can look at all different walks of life and we can see how it's important to have aligned leadership. If we're looking at places where there's issues and there's problems, there's struggle, there's corruption, maybe there's hypocrisy, there's controllers, there's this, very, we could get it with religious zealot type people, or government could be very pushy and extremist as well. And any of these systems, it doesn't matter what package or form they take, if there's not alignment there, in essence, there's going to be problems there. So if we look at all the things that are going on our planet right now, we could look at our healthcare situation. We could look at our government situation and the wars going on the planet right now. And when we really look into it, there's a common denominator always present, and that is that the leadership is out of alignment. And we don't even have to really studied and gone and, gotten a PhD to understand if someone's in alignment or not. We feel it instantly. And the more empathic we are, the more empathic a soul is, the more sensitive and more sensory aware they are, the quicker they detect someone being out of alignment. So if someone is, for instance, speaking one thing, but they're not living it in alignment, there becomes a disruption in the energy. And so I'll give you a couple little simple examples. I was actually just talking to my fiance's stepmom today about this. She was talking about she works in the cafeteria at the school, and that the food is terrible. It's not healthy, and she's amazed that they talk about the food being better in our school systems because she works right there, and she said it's terrible, and it's just fattening, and nothing's really healthy, and they don't really help the children with portion control, and it's out of alignment. And so we look at something like that, it's simple, and she was talking about how the nutritionist on the campus actually comes up with the ideas of the food, and that they don't really make any sense, they're not healthy. And then the nutritionist, I asked her, I said, just based on what you first feel about her, if you tune in, would you say she lives in alignment? Does she feel vibrationally to you like someone who really practices what she preaches? And she's like, oh, no, like, she's not even a healthy person. She's not very healthy. Like, it's, I don't even know why she's a nutritionist, or if she got an education at it or what. And so I kind of laughed because I knew I was doing the show about this today. And I just was talking to her about how that's what we have to start caring about. Humanity has to start to really pay attention to the integrity of the being that's bringing the message, whatever that message may be. So if, for example, I'm a nutritionist and I don't practice healthy practices myself, and I'm just telling everyone what to do based on just random things I'm coming up with, but I don't really understand health and I don't really live health, I'm out of alignment. I'm not really aligning with what I'm speaking about. And so therefore, there's going to be more room to have issues and things coming in that aren't really going to make sense for the goal. So if we were in the education system and we have a PE teacher and they're overweight, they're lazy, they've got, issues, they don't even like children, they just are waiting that next 2 years to retire. Another example that's real that someone just told me about, and they're just waiting to get that retirement pay. This is, again, an example of how the children that are around this person, and that person's yelling at them and telling them what to do, but they're not really practicing what they say. They're not participating. They're not healthy. The children really, it's going to be a struggle for them to respect this leader because this leader is not in alignment. And that's what the topic today is all about, is how do we participate in the shift, encouraging leaders to actually be in alignment, and how are we as society participating and enabling these controller energies to stay right where they are? Well, we have to look into a lot of different factors. We can look into our rule system. We have all these rules and all these belief systems and things that we cling to, and we create all these rules to protect ourselves. In essence, these rules often enslave the very ones who created them, while enslaving a lot of others at the same time. And so we have to look into this. Like, if we're creating these rules that aren't really serving anyone, including the leader who's supposed to be explaining everything to us, and then we're angry at children who don't really respect the leadership, they don't respect the teachers, maybe they don't really want to participate. I feel like a big part of this shift will come from the fact when we wake up to realize that these children are very intelligent. And it's kind of like taking, if you take a pack of dogs, wild dogs, children, to me, it's very similar energy. If you have dogs and they are all hanging out, they quickly establish and figure out who the leader is. The leader is that calm, assertive energy. They're going to be the alpha leader every time. And so in different structures, like our education, our healthcare, in religion, whatever creation you want to make for a system, there's that same energy going on. So sometimes these leaders that are bullies, they will kind of intimidate and push people around to get a sense of being in charge, and maybe not even a sense. Many times these are the ones that are in charge. But the ones that are being submissive, they can feel instantly when something's out of alignment. The difference is that if they don't do anything about it, they don't say anything about it, they don't express their truth, they don't challenge that misalignment, then this is how we as society participate in keeping it just the way it is. So today I feel like the big topic here is to help us each see how we have power in shifting this stuff. If we are going to complain about something, then we need to look at our own part in how we are participating in it. And we could look at how we have power to shift and change it. And if we're not wanting to be in our power and we don't want to speak our truth and we just are intimidated and we tuck our tail and we just accept whatever we're told, then we're enabling it. We're actually participating in the misalignment. And so part of being a shift leader and part of what's going to help us to change these structures is those that will have enough courage to speak truth about it. Those that will have the courage to shine the light on those situations and to actually stand up for what is right and just. And so if we're just complaining about what's going on in our government, which I hear it all the time, people would love to complain about things, but then I watch them, and the ones that are complaining about how there's no integrity, there's no compassion, there's no care, there's no honesty. And honestly, as I observe many humans that are speaking this, I watch how they are living their lives and how there's no honesty, there's no compassion, they're not always having integrity. And so the way I see it is that as we want, and if we're ready to truly evolve this, we have to be the change that we're seeking. So if I'm upset about something, the highest form of shift will be for me to focus inward on how can I be that? How can I be that aligned leader? How can I speak with truth? How can I show compassion? How can I have patience and respect and have integrity? And so the people that don't want to look into that, they often will be angry and frustrated by this mirror. It's an energetic mirror. Everything that comes into our life is mirroring something to us. It's all interconnected. So if I'm really angry and lashing out about something and I'm not tuning in to see what this is mirroring to me, I can often miss an opportunity for greater expansion and understanding of myself. So if those of us that are in this country and we're angry about things that are happening on the planet, if we sit back and we do nothing except complain, we are participating in the vibrational misalignment of harmony and peace and justice. But if we can see and observe that things are out of alignment, yet we keep our own thoughts consistently focused on alignment, on love, on unity, on compassion, on respect, integrity, and we're living in that flow, we're maintaining that vibrational alignment, then we have a greater impact to actually shift that structure away from this structure that's not working towards this structure that we are calling in, that we're ready to co-create. And that's vibrationally going to be very powerful. So if each of us were practicing this together, if every one of you listening today really claimed complete ownership over your own energy, your own stuff, really looked into how am I participating in the misalignment? How is it that today, am I going to choose today to be authentic and live in my integrity? Am I going to challenge the misalignment around me? Or am I going to just tuck my tail, pretend it doesn't matter, and go home and talk shit about them? Or am I going to just be angry and bitter and frustrated and stressed and just be, put out that vibration but do nothing? Or am I going to be just like those misaligned leaders and go and bully my family around when I get home? There's so many factors to it. So we have opportunities to really look into the greatest thing that's going to shift this planet situation will be when we each become accountable and responsible individuals. When I become, Tanya is in charge of Tanya, and she's responsible for Tanya's energy and where I'm focusing my energy. I'm not going to blame anybody else for where my energy is. This is a huge part of a shift. Many humans are still in this place where they're blaming everybody else for their emotions. I'm angry. I hate you. It's your fault. You made me angry. Well, people can upset you. They can bring energy that can cause disruption, but we choose what we do with that. And so to really maintain that higher